Welcome everyone to class 503. I am going to be your instructor this year. My name is Mr. Ren, and this presentation is going to be about our expectations for the year, our rules, so we're ready for the first day of school. Let's begin. This class is going to focus on the three core values of communication, consistency, and consequences. You can refer to them as the three C's, or you can just say CCC, because in this class, everything is going to be positive. To begin with, I want to talk a little bit about communication and what I expect everyone to do in class for that. Communication is going to be success for our classroom. Yes, we are working with students, but we are also working with adults. So we are a team, and all great teams have great communication. This means every time that you tell a student to do something, I just need a shout out. Hey everyone, so and so is going to go get a book. Just so that we all know that a student has been given permission to walk around the classroom. The last thing I want to do or anything else is to redirect the student to go back and sit down after you have already given that student permission to do something. We want students to trust us, and the best way that they can trust us is when they can rely on us and communicate with us. We want everyone to model communication with the students, and we're going to talk about that a little later on, but just keep in mind that communication is going to be key for success in this classroom. Communicating with parents. Treat parents with respect when you see them. Try to look at them as customers. We want our customers to come back, so we want our customers to be happy. No private conversations about the students are allowed. This means if the parent asks you about the academics, how's the student doing with English, you will refer them to me nicely and politely. Small talk is allowed. I want the parents to trust us and to get to know us, and the best way to do that is to do small talk. How's the weather? Did you watch the game last night? But as you talk with the parents, please remember that we are here for the students, so do not ignore the students. Consistency. We need consistency in this class. Consistency at the long term will have success. At the beginning, there will be a lot of repetitiveness and practice, but at the end of the school year, it'll pay off. Our students need structure, and this means that we will follow protocols and procedures set out for each student and for the whole class every day. Consequence. The third C here. It is not a punishment. This is important to remember. A consequence is not a punishment. We are not going to be putting our students in a think about it. Consequences can be positive or negative. And when we say consequence, we are talking about the event that happens after the action. For instance, if the student throws papers on the floor, the consequence is he's going to have to pick up those papers on the floor. So our students learn that every action has a consequence. These are going to be our classroom norms. Treat everyone how you would like to be treated. Everyone gets to help they need. Be patient with our students. Some of you have been doing this for a while, so you know. Please be patient, be safe, include everyone, and be positive. Our students feed off our vibes. If we are being positive, they get to be positive. Praise on each other, not just the students. If the students do a great job, let them know great job. But you know what? If one of us staff members does a great job, let us know. I'm gonna let you guys know when you guys do great. And in this class is going to be a lot of fun. This class is also going to be a multicultural class. This means every month we're going to select a culture and we're going to implement it into our classroom. We're going to have words that we're going to have our students use. We're going to decorate the classroom in different themes. And we're going to have lots of fun with introducing culture in our class. Staff expectations. Be prompt. This means get here on time. On your breaks, be back from your breaks on time. Leave to your breaks on time. I know in a mod severe classroom, schedules change. Sometimes you can't take your break at time, but if your break is 10, 15 minutes, you will be only taking 15-minute breaks. If your break is 30 minutes, you will be taking 30 minutes. Coming to work on time is very important. The morning time, picking up time is probably one of the most busiest times of the day. So I need everyone, all hands on deck. I need everyone here present. If for some reason you're going to be late, just give me a heads up. Communication. Let me know. I know life happens. Traffic. Kids. All right. Be prepared. Come prepared. If you need that coffee, get that coffee. All right. I'll have a coffee machine in the classroom just in case, but just come prepared to class. Ready. Be positive. I know stuff happens outside of class. Leave it at home. When you step into the classroom, I need your mindset on the classroom and I need you positive. Be productive. This means take initiative. If you know something has to be done, don't wait for someone to point it out to you. Make it happen. And be polite. How we communicate, our students will see. I'm going to be using a lot of please and thank yous and you welcomes. And I want everyone in the class to follow along so that our students will hear it and they will start using it as well. No cell phones. Some of us have kids. Some of us have emergencies. I understand. But I do not want to see cell phones out and about. If you need to use your cell phone, I need communication. And just let me know, hey, Mr. Wren, I need to take this call, so and so. No problem. I'll let you have that time. But if you do not let me know that you need to use the cell phone and I see you using that cell phone, well then, we'll have a discussion about that later. So keep in mind, no cell phones. If you do need to use it, let me know firsthand. Classroom rules. We are still following COVID-19 protocols. This means we will be wearing our mask. The mask has to cover the nose and the mouth. Wash your hands for 20 seconds. We will have a timer over the washing station. And we will also have the students count up to 20. So we know they're counting them correctly. Give your friends space. This calls for staff and students. Remind them, I know it's not easy walking in line and lining up, but we'll try to keep an arm's distance apart if possible. We will be cleaning as we go. And when we go from station to station, we'll just do a quick wipe down and stay in your seats until called upon. Classroom rules for the students. Walking in the classroom. Be kind to your classmates. Listen to your teacher. Stay in your seats. Raise your hand to talk and use your quiet voice. We will be enforcing these rules. This means if a student gets out of their seat without permission, we will redirect them back to their seat and have them raise their hand if they need something. If a student is being too loud, we will redirect and remind the student to use a quiet voice. If the student runs in the classroom, we will redirect the student back to the point where the student started running and have them walk. It may take us 10 minutes, 20 minutes. That's okay. What's important here is that we are being consistent with the rules. Our daily schedules are going to look like this. The students are going to have their own colors. and each staff member is going to be assigned either 1 or 2 colors, and we're just going to follow them along. Each week, each staff member will rotate and get a different color for the student. We will be using icons with commands to the students at all times. Some of our students don't respond to oral communication as well as visual. So if we want a student to stop, we will say stop, but we will also use the stop icon. If we want the student to sit on a chair or on the floor, we would point to the sit icon as well as say the word sit. When a student has a behavior, unwanted behavior, we are going to focus on calming strategies before we ask the student to fix the consequence. For instance, I use the example of the paper on the floor. Sometimes if the student is still upset about something, we want to try to teach them some calming strategies before we ask them to pick up the paper. Our teaching behaviors are going to be with monitoring and acknowledging continuously. This means we're going to pay attention to the behavior and adjust as needed. Once we find out what works best, we're going to define it and simplify it. We're going to model what we want the student to do, and we're going to practice that behavior. This means we might set it off to make the student cause a behavior so that we can practice it with that student. Consistency. Data for IEPs will be taken once a week, and they will be taken by me. I'll be walking around and I'll be going to the students, and if I see a student that is doing work well, I'll sit down with that student and I will take down their IEP. This does not mean that you won't be taking notes, and we'll talk about that on this one here. On these data sheets, you'll be taking notes on the antecedent, on the behavior, and the consequence, sorry. And any additional notes that you see might be helpful with the behavior. For the IEP data, like I said, I'll be taking the data, but what I want is I expect you to be taking notes, marking down the days that the students do well, and if you think the student needs more support or something that you did that worked really well, I want you to write it down so that the next person that works with that student has a guide on what works well with that student. AAC devices, some of our students, if not all, will be needing them, and we will be using them. Sometimes it may get busy and we will forget, so this is about being prepared. And if you know you're going to be working with that student, those AAC devices and supports will be ready to be used daily. I also want you to communicate using the device of the student, so that the student doesn't feel that they are the only ones using this device. For instance, if you want to ask what color, you would borrow an AAC device and type in what color and have the student choose that color. And finally, the most important rule of all in this classroom is to have fun. I want our class to have fun. I want our students to have fun, and I want you guys to have fun. This means I want you guys engaged with our students, not just academically, but when we have free choice or some art, spend some time with them, have some jokes, talk with them, find out what they like, be engaging, and have fun. Can't wait to see you guys on the first day of school.